Hey everyone, and welcome to Weird Facts.
Today we are headed to the absolute bottom of the world, Antarctica. It's the coldest, driest, and highest continent on Earth. If you're into exploring the unknown, you're in the right place. Make sure you're subscribed and hey, drop a comment below and let us know what we should tackle next.
All right, let's just jump right in with a question that, honestly, it sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. What if there was an entire continent, right? A chunk of land bigger than all of Europe that belonged to, well, nobody. No country, no government, no flags, nothing. Sounds crazy, but that's not a what-if scenario. That's actually the deal with Antarctica.
So yeah, that unique status, it basically makes Antarctica the world's biggest nature preserve. And it's all run by this really incredible international agreement. So let's get into how that even works.
Okay, so the key to all this is the Antarctic Treaty. And get this, it was signed way back in 1959, right in the middle of the Cold War. I mean, think about it. That was a time when nobody agreed on anything. But they all decided, hey, let's not fight over this last empty continent. The treaty basically makes the whole place a demilitarized zone. No military bases, no weapons testing, and definitely no nuclear stuff. It's totally off limits. Instead, the entire continent is set aside for two things: peace and science.
So what about those ownership claims? Well, yeah, 7 different countries do have these historical claims to different slices of the Antarctic pie. But here's where the treaty does this little bit of diplomatic genius. It doesn't get rid of the claims, it just presses pause on them. It literally puts them on ice. And because of that, everyone can work together without bickering over who owns what bit of land. It turns the whole place into one giant shared science lab for the world.
All right, so a continent for science sounds great. But don't think for a second that means it's not full of mysteries. Oh no. Some of the craziest secrets are buried literally miles under all that ice.
You know, if you go online and search for Antarctic mysteries, you'll get buried in clickbait. Seriously, tabloids, conspiracy sites, they all love to talk about this massive, weird object that satellites supposedly found under the ice in a place called Wilkes Land. The theories get pretty wild. We're talking secret Nazi UFO bases, hidden alien cities, the whole shebang. It sounds awesome for sure, but what did scientists really find down there?
So, to get what's going on, you have to understand something called a gravity anomaly. It sounds complicated, but it's not. Basically, the pull of gravity isn't exactly the same everywhere on Earth. Our satellites are sensitive enough to map these tiny differences. And those differences, well, they give us clues about what's buried deep underground. So like a huge, dense piece of metal would create a stronger pull, a positive anomaly. And guess what? Over in Wilkes Land, they found a massive one.
So, spoiler alert, it's not a UFO. The real story, though, is honestly even more mind-blowing. Scientists are pretty sure that this huge gravity anomaly is a perfect match for a gigantic impact crater. And when I say gigantic, I mean it's more than double the size of the crater from the asteroid that killed the dinosaurs. We're talking about a meteor strike so big it might have caused the single biggest mass extinction our planet has ever seen. And this all happened way before Antarctica was even covered in ice.
Okay, so we've been deep under the ice. Now let's come back up to the surface, to a place in Antarctica that looks like it's straight out of a movie about Mars.
This is the McMurdo Dry Valleys. Believe it or not, this is the biggest part of Antarctica that has no ice. It's actually one of the most extreme deserts anywhere in the world. You have these crazy strong winds. They're called katabatic winds that come screaming down from the mountains at over 100 miles an hour. As they fall, they heat up and just suck all the moisture out of the air, evaporating any ice or snow. What's left is this barren, frozen desert that looks so much like another planet that scientists literally use it to test rovers and equipment for missions to Mars.
Yeah, when the explorer Captain Scott first stumbled on these valleys back in 1903, he wrote that they were a valley of the dead, totally lifeless. But turns out, he was wrong. Life is there. It's just hiding. You've got these tiny microscopic organisms, cyanobacteria, that basically live in a freeze-dried state, just waiting. Then for a short time in the summer, a little bit of glacier melts, a trickle of water reaches them, and boom! Within 48 hours, they wake up and start photosynthesizing. It is just an unbelievable survival strategy.
And that's exactly why this place is so incredibly important for science. Because life here is just barely hanging on, right? It's totally dependent on these tiny little changes in temperature. That makes the dry valleys like an early warning system for the whole planet. Think of it like a super sensitive alarm for climate change. The big ice sheets, they take thousands of years to show change. But this place, it reacts almost immediately to even the slightest shift in temperature. All right, let's leave the dry Martian landscape behind and dive into the freezing cold ocean that surrounds Antarctica. Because down there, in those life-filled waters, there's a tiny little creature that is the absolute ruler of this entire kingdom.
I want you to just look at this number. 400 million tons. Just try to wrap your head around that. What could possibly weigh that much? A mountain range? Every single car on Earth combined? Nope. That number is the estimated weight of just one single species.
We're talking about Antarctic krill. These little shrimp-like guys are one of the most successful species on the entire planet. But here is the stat that just breaks my brain every time. Their total biomass, that's their collective weight, all added together, is about the same as the total weight of every single human being on Earth. All 8 billion of us. Just, wow.
So why do these little guys matter so much? Well, they're basically the fuel that runs the entire Antarctic ecosystem. They are the food source for pretty much everything. Penguins, seals, fish. Oh, and the biggest animal that has ever existed, the blue whale. Their swarms are so enormous you can actually see them from space. And get this, they even help us fight climate change. They eat plankton that's full of carbon, and when they excrete, that carbon sinks to the bottom of the ocean, locking it away.
But this whole incredible system, this continent protected by a treaty and fueled by krill, well, it's facing a really uncertain future. Let's talk about why Antarctica is standing at a major crossroads right now.
Okay, this timeline really lays it all out. For more than 60 years, that Antarctic treaty has acted like a shield. Then in 1998, they made it even stronger with a new rule that banned all mining there for 50 years. But today, that shield is being seriously tested by climate change. And there's a really big date coming up, 2048. That's the year when any of the main countries in the treaty can call for a full review, which could open the door to all sorts of challenges to the protections that are in place now.
And the threats are really starting to stack up. You've got the oceans getting warmer, you've got the sea ice melting, which is bad news for the krill who need it. The ocean is also becoming more acidic, which makes it tough for krill and other animals to even build their shells. And hanging over all of that is this big political question mark. As resources get harder to find in other parts of the world, is everyone going to keep their promise to protect Antarctica?
And that really brings us to the final big question. Antarctica is this amazing continent of peace. It's a laboratory for all of humanity. It holds the secrets of our planet's past. But with our world changing so fast, with the climate warming and politics getting more tense, can this incredible shared sanctuary actually stay protected? That's our look into some of Antarctica's incredible secrets. If you enjoyed this, do us a favor and hit that like button. It really does help the channel out a ton. Thanks so much for joining us.